Hello, everyone. It's a beautiful lunch time again, right here on Edge TV and My Big Ink. And of course, this is Health Revolution. Ayan po. And we have a very special guest today. Magandang tanghali po, Ma'am Betty. Kumusta?
Yeah, Happy New Year, no? Ito ba yung first live episode natin na meron tayong guest?
Yes, opo. We have our very first guest for 2021 na live guest kasi for the past two episodes we have talked about mga takeaways, lessons we learned from our episodes in 2020, the pandemic year. Pero syempre, just to remind us that magagamit natin to, we can apply all of the things we learned there going into this new year. Yeah. So another very interesting and very enlightening segment or episode is waiting for you guys. So don't go, lock in with us and paki-send lang po, paki-post lang in the comment section questions nyo sa ating isa po siyang health professional. Of course, he is a doctor and urologist. Ayan po.
Kasi last year, di ba, Raymond, we started with actual experiences of different people, how they cope with pandemic, gano'n. So at least, di ba, nakasurvive tayo noong 2020.
Yes.
So now for 2021 naman, we believe that knowledge naman is power. So parang feeling ko kasi yung mga ibang tao natatakot sila kasi nga they don't know what to do. They are afraid of we keep on people keep on saying na we keep on telling them that fear is the greatest fear, diba? So it creates a lot of mental issues, a lot of problems for them. So bago pa man din tayo matakot, I think it is better that we know. Kung alam natin, like even going to the hospital, kailan ba kailangan pumunta, diba? Pag meron tayong alam, we lessen the fear factor. So this year, so we would like to start off, and also yung general health din ng tao, because we are saying that every one of us, we just need to be healthy. We need to boost our immune system. There's nothing to be afraid of with the COVID. The important thing is, you know the symptoms, you know the signs, you know. But we will start not with the COVID, kasi madami na naman situation.
Masyado lang sikat sa atin ang COVID.
We should concentrate on other problems because people have a lot of other problems also.
Yes, that's a focus on it because there are a lot of other viruses, bacteria, or health issues. Baka mamaya, focus natin sa COVID-19, napabayaan naman natin yung other equally and sometimes even more more
serious
dangerous to or more serious concerns sa ating katawan. So, yan, tama-tama. Specialista, natutuwa po. We're so honored to have a specialist, a medical frontliner, a specialist, at saka sa isang very important na issue, especially for men, kasi talaga medyo ito ay malaking issue to, especially for mga men going to the senior years, middle age upwards, ganyan. Pero syempre, in Health Revolution, we are proactive, prevention, preemptive tayo. Kaya nga, before you reach the age of parang medyo may mafe-feel ka na, dapat alamin na muna natin. And knowledge is power, and key sa prevention. Di po ba?
Right. So we are fortunate today, diba? We are very fortunate that we have with us today Dr. Joseph Lim Lee.
Ayan. So tuloy natin yung short intro video ni Doc para medyo malaman natin. He's actually also a celebrity doctor. Very sanay na to sa mga interviews.
He's a urologist.
Urologist. Ayan. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Doc Joseph.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, po. Yeah,
All right.
clear.
Of course.
Grabe, busy.
Loud and
Yeah.
clear.
Oo nga. Ang dami mong clinics sa Doc.
Of course. Hindi. Before we go to anything else, no, I like to take this opportunity to extend my sincerest gratitude to Betty and of course DJ Raymond, which is the first time I will be interacting with you with this platform, and of course Health Revolution for inviting me this afternoon, okay, for a interesting topic talk.
Oo. Conversational lang tayo, Doc
Yes.
Joseph. Kasi we know that a lot of people, they have concerns, pero sometimes they're afraid to ask, na nahihiyang magtanong. So, through this platform, we hope that you will be able to enlighten a lot of our listeners so that they can, kasi sabi namin, knowledge is power. So, the greatest fear is fear itself. So, we'd like to share through you whatever knowledge we can, diba? So that people will also be proactive with their health and they will also know what to do, diba? Parang before a problem becomes chronic, dapat proactive sila, they will do something about it already so that it doesn't become like a bigger issue, right? Oo. And kasi nga sabi ito turf ni Raymond to kasi we're going to talk about prostatitis, diba? So
Prostatitis.
maybe first we can start with Doc Joseph. What is prostatitis pala?
Prostatitis pala. Prostatitis. Okay, wrong spelling pala ako doon. May kulang. Prostatitis. Okay. So,
siguro pag babae, wala namang prostatitis, no? Kasi walang prostate.
Wala.
Pag babae, urinary tract infection.
Yes.
Parang gano'n. So, that's a topic for another day.
Yes.
So, ayan.
That is it. All right. Okay, Raymond, that is it. Okay.
Walang S.
Prostatitis.
Kasi mayroong actually
Sumobra na. Prostatitis.
Ayaw nga na, sumobra. Okay. Nalabas kasi ako, kasi pag narinig ko yung prostatitis, you know what comes into my mind? Prostate cancer. So that would be my question. Prostate cancer, is this related? Kasi I have actually a brother-in-law who had this, also some friends, no? Especially in the, mga pagmapasok na before the senior years and especially into the senior years, no? Prostate cancer. Is this related? Ano po ba yung connection nito?
Oo. I think Dr. Joseph is going to explain exactly what is prostatitis.
Okay.
Parang mahirap na sakit, no? Spelling lang, hindi pa natin ma-spell na
Kasi sabihin ko masyado yung yung prostate cancer. So medyo naging sa prostatitis. Finally.
Mali pa rin. Kulang ng S.
Final S naman. No, sorry, maliit kasi yung maliit kasi yung tinataypan ko dito. Okay, ayan.
Okay.
Anyway, tuloy nyo na po. Don't mind me.
Actually, Raymond, I agree with Betty when he was saying a while ago, prevention is one of the basic principle wherein we culminate a good health and wellness institution or level up with regards to our body system, right? Okay. Now, you might be adamant, some people might be adamant of going to doctors or seeing the doctors or even asking doctors questions if and when they are confused with their symptoms or practically they are afraid of what they will hear, diba? I think both of you will agree with me, okay? But at the end of the day, when you seek medical help to a specialist or a health provider, one thing we can even tell our viewers or listeners is that you ask all the questions that you need, because at the end of the day, you do not go out of the clinic room and asking other platforms like Dr. Google. Do you know Dr. Google, Raymond?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Of course.
So when you ask Dr. Google,
Yeah, I know it all, guy.
yeah, who's not a medical person, but I think he will give you all the details. You might get more confused. Okay,
That's right.
now that is one thing that Tita Betty was trying to expound. Okay, with regards to the topic of prostatitis, yes, I agree with the both of you. It is a concern of men because only men has prostate gland. Okay, so relieve na si Betty dyan.
Yeah.
It is an equivalent of your ovaries, di ba? Oo, so sasabihin
But I
natin.
should learn also kasi pag if my husband asks me about it, di para alam ko, di ba? So we know for the male members of the family, there's nothing wrong with the additional knowledge.
That is very basic, Raymond, Betty, no? One is if the organ is inherent of your what you call the gender status. So prostate is for men and men alone. Okay? So that is it. So prostatitis is for men and men alone also. Okay. So you add itis, which is inflammatory in nature, to prostate. So you logically will think that your inflammation happens to be within the bounds of your prostate gland. Okay, to make our listeners understand the importance of your prostate gland, we might think na Raymond, Betty, it's just a simple organ. It's just an accessory reproductive organ. Nothing important, basically. It is an internal organ. It is actually an internal organ. When you say internal organ, it is kept in a safe keeping within a cavity or
inside.
A bound or a bone structure, no? It is not outside. When you say outside organ, you can see it. Okay, like you can see other like your ears, you can practically visibly touch it, no? So it's an internal organ. It is not an external organ. Most of the time kasi they confuse the prostate gland with the thyroid gland. Kasi nakakapa ang thyroid. No, yung bosyo, di ba? Hindi. Your thyroid is never your prostate is never in the neck. It is always inside your pelvic cavity. Kasi yan ang lagi. When I say that is most of the time that men, when our lay individuals come in and tell, saan ba yung prostate? Is okay. Now, prostate gland, the function is very basic, is for additional fluid for our semen. So, it is the production of seminal fluid for our semen. Semen is similia. Betty. Okay. Semen contain sperm cell plus seminal fluid. Okay. Your semen is seminal fluid which is produced again by the prostate gland, and your sperm cell which is produced by the testicles. So that is understandable, So similia or semen is seminal fluid plus sperm cell.
So,
okay.
So Doc, it plays a very important role with especially fertility problems.
Exactly. Okay. Even though the structure of it is like a chestnut, it is a chestnut, small.
Maliit lang ang prostate gland.
Oo, mga lang yan, Betty, Raymond, mga 20 to 30 grams. I don't know, it's like a fist, no? Smaller than a fist, 20 to 30 grams. Beyond that, kasi that's an enlarged prostate. It's very small. It is kept snugly just below our urinary bladder, yung pantog natin, tawag ng ihian. Nandiyan
the bladder, yes.
It's kept there. Why is it kept? Kasi dalawang layer of covering siya, Raymond, Betty. It is covered twice, no? So it is hyper protected. Hyper protected for what? Number one is infection. That is why our topic this high noon is about prostatitis, which happen to be what are the cause? What are the etiology of prostatitis? One, you get it from what? Infection, urinary infection. Diba? Alam natin yan, Raymond, Betty. Yung infection, ay may infection ako, meron akong acute infection. Infection comes in acute and chronic. Okay? Pag sinabing acute, 7 days, chronic, 2 weeks. So you can have prolonged infection that can later on cause prostatitis. That's number 1. Chronic UTI. Second, if you have sexually transmitted disease, boing, Raymond, boing, sa mga guys, di ba? Betty, sexually transmitted disease. What is common in our region is what? Gonorrhea, chlamydia, okay? Untreated. I'm talking about untreated or self-medication sexually transmitted disease in some patients might later on cause prostatitis. So for the young men who is listening, kanina kasi nabanggit Tita Betty ni Raymond, what is the age generation or the age bracket of prostatitis? It can come in young age, middle age, or even the older people, older generation. So ang pinipili to
any age, pwede.
Any age. Okay. So we talk about urinary tract infection, which is chronic. We talk about sexually transmitted disease, which is again untreated. Okay, self-medication, you can have that. Okay. Now, why does this disease, which is a different entity, will end up prostatitis affecting the prostate? Because we have to remember, Raymond, the tract that we have for the men is 1. For the females, you have 2. 1 to urinate, a tube to urinate, and the other one is reproductive, going to the uterus. The male has only 1. Okay? One for urinating, urethra, and 1 for reproduction, meaning wherein the semen comes out. Diba? Tama? Single pathway sa babae, dalawa. So, lugi tayo. Okay. Isa pang lugi. Because very near the prostate, you have ducts, mga butas, entry point. Sabihin na natin C5, C3, C7. Mga changing point, entry points. Okay. Now, if you have infection, basically, for our listeners, infection is ascending, going up. It's never going down. So anything for the men goes up. So pag nagka-UTI ka, aakyat ang bacteria. Pag nagka-fungal infection ka, aakyat ang fungus, di ba? So when you go up, when you have infection like what I mentioned, it goes now to the opening of the portal. You have 3 openings, no? Which is located strategically very near the prostate gland. This is the entry point. Parang ito yung this is like going to the inside of your prostate gland. Kasi hindi sila Tita Betty,
it's inside. It's inside, diba?
Outside they will go to the ducts and going inside the prostate. So when the infection is prevalent, when the infection is chronic, when there is a recurrent infection, whereas there is an untreated sexually transmitted infection, it goes to the ducts and it goes inside the prostate. What happens when it inside the prostate? Diba? Sabi ko kanina, 2 layer siya, ang hirap lumabas. So anong nangyayari pag andyan yung bacteria? So ikot lang siya ng ikot sa prostate, ikot lang siya ng ikot sa prostate, parami siya ng parami. It start accumulating and start accumulating. So what will happen to your prostate? Your prostate will end up disease and inflamed and tender. When you tender, parang boil. alam mo yun na, yung ano, may buko na parang may
Pigsa.
nata. Pigsa.
Pigsa.
Exactly, Tita Betty, yan, pigsa. It will look like that, Raymond. Can you imagine?
Scary.
Your prostate, tinakot na natin sila, your prostate turning it like that. So, what are the signs and symptoms? You have difficulty in urination. You might even have urine in the blood. You might not able to sit kasi the prostate is in very near your puwet. No, your pelvic or your buttocks. Oh, so can you imagine if it's so inflamed, hindi ka makakaupo. Tsaka Raymond, you see
madaming symptoms nga din. Pero that is ano na siya. Kasi prostatitis
Swollen
na
na talaga.
siya. Oo.
Prostatitis,
Yung kumbaga grabe na siya.
pero Tita Betty, Raymond, kasi that is prostatitis. I'm talking about prostatitis because later on, when you will see a doctor or a specialist, your specialist now will subdivide your prostatitis according to duration. Kasi you can have an acute prostatitis, you can have a subacute, okay? Ibig sabihin ng acute, weeks pa lang. Pag sabi ng acute, months pa lang. Pag sabi ng chronic, naku, years na. Hindi ka nagpapatingin.
Prolonged na.
And worse comes to worse, Raymond, Betty, you will have bladder pain syndrome. When I say bladder, urinary bladder, pantog pain, very painful. I see very painful, Raymond. Hindi ko alam kung meron akong sprain sa buto, hindi ko alam kung meron akong pigsa, meron akong hemorrhoids or everything. You think of a lot of things because you cannot sit properly. That is the end stage you call bladder pain syndrome. Okay. Before I end and I submit to your question, why are we talking about prostatitis? Because during, sabi nga ni Tita Betty, you talk about COVID, because during the lockdown and during the 9 to 10 months 2020 COVID, no? COVID pandemic that we have gone through last year, you have an increased prevalence of prostatitis when I was looking into my patient. So ito ang number one. Instead of yung prostate cancer mo, yes, tama sa you still have prostate cancer, but ito ang naging number one causes or yung mga cases of men coming to see us.
After pandemic.
After pandemic or during pandemic.
It happened. Most likely it happened in the pandemic. Pero it's weird, no? Naka-lockdown. Tapos
naka-lockdown. Na-stress. Hindi na makaihi. Hindi na umiinom ng tubig. Hindi na umiinom ng
water. Actually,
antimicrobials. They don't go to the doctors. They treat themselves. What else?
Yes. Another field.
They might be on a lockdown, but they are going around probably to some infected person that later on they did not know that will infect them eventually, di ba? I think you will agree with me, Raymond, Betty, kahit naka-lockdown ka, yung medyo tayo nag-ease, di ba, after 2 months, pwede ka naman pumunta ng ibang bahay para magpa-lockdown doon, di ba? Agree ka, Raymond? Kapit-bahay mo,
kapit-bahay.
Hindi mo alam, baka yung...
Akala ko naman it's pag hindi nakalabas yung mga sperm, nagkaroon ng nag-accumulate sa prostate.
Prostate cancer po ata yun. Yung mga medyo
hindi makalabas ang sperm. That is one of the myths that they were saying na what would happen pag hindi makalabas ang sperm, pwede magka-prostate cancer. No. Hindi rin sinasabi na if you
almost everybody believes.
if you are not,
That's the cause.
what do you call that? Under sex, under
Yes,
use,
it's or overdose.
Oo.
Under or
prostate
overuse. Yes.
No, it's not the
Okay.
thing.
Ah,
It's genetic.
Okay. You see, knowledge talaga is power. Now we're knowing
Kasi-
the real score.
one time kasi I read na yung ano daw, males usually have to relieve themselves at the minimum 90 days. Is that a myth or is that a fact?
Advance yung mga questions ni Ma'am eh.
Oo nga eh.
Teka
Alam mo,
lang.
Raymond,
Kasi dyan ako interesado eh.
Tama yan, Tita Betty. Tama yan, Tita Betty, para malaman ni Raymond. You know,
Yes.
okay, this is in the books, no? You need to
Yes,
release 21 times a month. You need to
Oh.
release
So, sa'yo,
21 times a month.
medically
Diba ang
proven
saya? Diba masaya?
hindi ba makapayat, makamalnourish yung tao pag kulang sa
No, that
nourishment?
is that's once a day. That's actually the counted numbers. Okay. Now releasing is not really that bad, as what Betty was saying. No, because when you release, you replenish and you stimulate now your testicles to produce more sperm cells. Para you instruct them na, oy, wala na. Parang wala na.
Mag-produce ka na.
Mag-produce ka na.
So dapat yung mga may
Paano ma-expire?
fertility problems, experiment ng ganon. So dapat 21.
Well, actually, by
Para
the way,
dumami yung sperm, di ba?
yeah. Ay, kay Chris pala, thank you, Chris. Ang dami niyang tinatag na tao dito sa ating Ayan. Si DJ Chris from
Hi.
thank you sa mga tag mo. Dami, oh. Okay. He was actually in the ICU nung pandemic. So, thank you. Ayan. So, before we actually interrupted si Doc, parang meron siyang parang meron kang finishing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
You might get lost eh.
Para yung mga
Sinusubaybayan ko lang, sorry.
Para may iba mga gusto magtanong. Okay. So, is it something that is problematic? Of course, it is problematic when it becomes chronic. It is problematic, Raymond, Tita Beth, when there is already pain syndrome because you tend to take in a lot of those analgesic, antibiotics continuously. But the problem is, there is continued production of the bacteria, and you can have a mixture of the bacteria. You can have Proteus, Klebsiella, Staphylococcus, and everything. And you know for the fact that if you perpetrate or even take something that will prevent the increase of this production and for the bacteria to be less virulent, then it will ease your symptoms, and eventually when you get to have your prostate evaluated by a specialist, then you can continuously heal because this prostatitis is so prolonged. Okay.
So, at least for those people who have prostatitis, wag ho kayong mawala ng pag-asa. There is a solution naman, di ba? Yun. But yun nga but the important thing is to be able to have a proper diagnosis. That's why we say always ask the experts, di ba? When you feel something. Tsaka I tend to believe that sometimes people, when they say na, bigla na lang nagkaganyan, I tend to believe that there are little signals along the way. Except people just do not pay attention to it until it becomes a chronic problem. Right?
Actually, it's a common attitude of Filipinos, di ba? Or Filipinas. Titiisin mo na di ba? Like the person I know had prostate cancer because he had a lot of children. He became a pastor. So yung health niya was put aside, no? Until na-develop until nagpunta na sa stage 4 when he tried kasi nagkaroon pa ng surgery pero it was too late na advanced stage na.
Saka yung mga tao natatakot na pag-cancer, di ba? Parang prostate cancer. By the way, Doc, can prostatitis lead ba to prostate cancer?
Before you answer po, Dana, batiin ko lang. There's actually, hello Dina, Lionel. She is in Indonesia. Actually, she's based in Indonesia. She's an
Oh.
Indonesian. Please tell your husband to watch the show. And he says hello.
Play naman.
Hello,
Dr. Joseph.
Ay, hello, Doc Joseph daw. Ayan. Eh, Raymond, meron naman tayong replay.
Yes, that's right. You can watch this on demand anytime. Yan. Are we going to take a break na po muna before we continue?
Sige. Bago sagutin ni Doc
Just
Joseph
segue from
yung
plain prostatitis going to prostate cancer, which is also medyo mataas na yung prevalence.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of senior. Actually, I have a brother-in-law who's now having radiation treatment in the US because they found that he has an early stage of prostate cancer. So we will just be taking a very short break, counting reminders regarding the products of Big. All right, here we go.
Ikaw ba ay may problema dahil sa bad bacteria? Mayroong solusyon para sa'yo, huwag mag-alala. Subukan mo na para may good digestion ka. Happy life sa 15 Biota. 15 Biota, para laging mas happy ako dyan.
Mahalagang paalala, ang 15 Biota ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kung puso ang problema, break the bad habits. Move on na para sa healthy heartbeat. Sa Big 5-0, tara na, let's all be fit. Mega healthy sa Omega 963. Para sa heart nutrient deficiency. Sa Big 5-0, strong ang heart and body. Sa Big 5-0. Nakamove on ka na't kumanda? Sa Big 5-0, puso mo ay alagang-alaga.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Big 5 o ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Anak, anong gusto mong juice? Ang gusto ko, veggie juice kasi gusto juice, gusto ng lahat. Ang veggie juice na pampasigla ng katawan. Nasa gusto na ang lahat. May gulay na, may prutas pa. Ito na ang sustansya. Vitamin ay kumpleto. Ikaw ma, gusto mo?
Uminom na ng isang baso ng sustansya. Kompletong sigla para sa ating pamilya. Gusto Veggie Juice, your yummy veggie drink. No approved therapeutic claims.
Yan.
welcome back, Doc
Yan.
Joseph.
Sa mga hate ng vegetables, yan. Gusto, veggie juice. Masarap siya. And soon, we'll be coming out with iba-ibang flavors. Yan. Para sa ayaw ng mango flavor. Ayan, let's go to the... Oy, tika pala, may greeting din si Mila kay Ma'am Betty. Hello,
Hi,
Betty.
Mila.
Hello. Her husband is actually a DJ, music DJ. We mix.
And music, music is the language of the soul.
Oh yeah, heals us. Ayan, sige. So, Doc
So, Doc Joseph, back to the question. Does prostatitis lead to prostate cancer?
Actually, it's usually a different entity, no? Most of the time, kasi when you talk about prostate cancer, it goes around genetic and more of a hormonal cause. When you say genetic, it is your forefathers, your grandfathers, or your second generation, okay? And it has to be considered with regards to how much of your testosterone is affected. Testosterone is, by the way, the male hormone, okay? How much decline with regards to your hormones, because practically this is one of the nutrients of your prostate cancer. So ang pagkain, Raymond, ng prostate cancer is your hormone testosterone. Okay? So when you start to have signs and symptoms of early stages of prostate cancer, it might be getting the nutrients from your hormone, which is your testosterone. Okay, you were right a while ago with regards to the different stages of your prostate cancer. You have low stage, aggressive stage, then metastatic stage, okay? But sometimes you might have prostate cancer and concomitant infection, no? Of prostatitis, or even enlarged prostate, which is benign, and you have on top of it prostatitis. But they are both of different entities. Okay?
Oh, wow. So that can happen pala, double whammy. Okay. Before we move on pala, singit natin si Jazzer. Ano po, Dr. Joseph Lee, God bless po. Jazzer, Australia.
Jazzer, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Ayan. So, Doc Joseph, so going back to prostatitis, at least we're happy to know na something that is curable as prostatitis, at least hindi siya yung cause na nagiging prostate cancer. But still, Pero so you are saying, so how does a person gets naman the prostatitis? How will the bacteria, how can they get the bacteria? We know that the bacteria or the fungus, they enter through the 3 ducts that you mentioned, right? But basically, what can people do? Kumbaga, proactively, what can people do to prevent prostatitis?
Very simple, because as we mentioned a while ago, it is secondary to ascending infection. Okay, infection from external going upwards and causing a tremendous problem with your prostate gland, later on causing severe pain. Okay, because of colonization and increase in the number of bacteria, then they become virulent. Okay, I hope Betty will agree with me, Raymond, when you have colonization, meaning 1 or 2 bacteria multiplies and it becomes a lot. They colonize. When they colonize, they cover basically the area wherein they are located. They become virulent when there is nothing for them to nutritionally eat. So magagalit na sila. So magagalit sila, mag-aaway sila, magpapatayan sila. Pag nagpatayan na sila, then you get all the symptoms coming up. If you have more of the aggressive bacteria, where will they go? If there is no food, kasi ang dami na nila di ba? That's why when you have your urinalysis, no, you analyze it, di ba, Raymond, Betty? Uy, ang count ko 10,000, sabi ni doktor, 100,000, too many to count, di ba, yung urinalysis. When you have too many to count bacteria, ibig sabihin ang dami na nila, nagsisiksikan na sila. So pag nagsisiksikan na sila, can you imagine in the prostate, nagsisiksikan nila, causing so much pain? Where will they go? Okay, there is no example. They go up.
Spillover effect.
Oh, they will have spillover. Exactly, Raymond. They might spill over, go up the other urinary
organ
system. Okay. So basically, you were saying, Tita Betty, how can we stop it? Is nutrition. You eat properly, di ba? You can even hydrate. When you say even taking good nutrition is what? By like we have mentioned, you balance yourself. Not too much meat. Vegetables. Sabi nga ni Raymond kanina, uminom ka ng gusto, pwede
vegan juice.
You do not only hydrate, and it is direct, and it's vegetable prepared. And the vegetables are so nice in its ingredients, and probably you can later on wash off a bit of the bacteria. Kasi when the urine comes down, dadaan rin siya portion sa prostate, Tita Betty, Raymond. So nawawash out pa rin yan. So natatapon siya. Sabihin mo, nako, nawawash out. Paano ko malalaman? Look when you urinate. Diba, Raymond? Look when you urinate, you have bubbles. Your urine is so concentrated. Your urine is so murky. Yan, lumalabas na mga bacteria. Yellow.
Medyo dark yellow,
So you wash it. So vegetables are very, very good nutritionally. Kasi these are very basic things. So sabi, ay wag na, kain tayo ng meat, Oh, we keep on eating pork. And ano, yan ang
meat.
yan ang gustong-gusto ng bacteria. The more pork you have, the more meat you have. They will more
Carnivorous. Carnivores.
They do not like vegetables because there are some ingredients in the vegetables that they do not like, and it causes problem in their survival. It kills them. So you can have you can drink like what has been shown a while ago. They can drink gusto. Okay, in order to protect them, Tita Betty, papasok ko na. In order to protect them, kasi baka sabi mo, other organs, di ba? Other organs, di ba? You're talking about other organs. Hindi umakyat na. O anong pwedeng gawin? Ay, hindi malakas ang GI ko. Hindi matibay. Baka ano na. Mag-probiotics ka. May probiotics naman. Probiotics na. Then you end up having basically.
Yeah, kasi yung probiotics naman, kasi it's for colon health. What people do not realize is yung colon, if they are familiar with reflexology chart, our colon also has a colon chart wherein it also corresponds to the different organs of the body. Tsaka yun tayo kasi holistic tayo, diba? Kailangan lahat na ano, if with probiotics, it will help all the different organs of the body. Ayun. And pero yung gusto, going back to gusto, there was a Korean before na sabi niya sa akin, "Oh Betty, I like your gusto kasi it makes me pee more." Mas dumadami yung ihi. So, di ba, if you have more urine, di ba, our body cleanses, we detox through those one of the organs that helps in the detoxification is by urinating it out, diba? So if we are able to wash out, as Dr. Lee is saying, that's very good for us. So, but then you have to drink for you to be able to wash out. Otherwise, wala naman siyang i-wash out. Kaya nga siguro during nung pandemic, kasi nasa bahay eh. So,
totoo yan.
Nakakalimutan uminom.
Yeah. Ako rin po. That was my experience. Pero I noticed it mga 1 month na. Sabi ko, bakit samantala when we're out, di ba, we drink a lot, di ba? Kasi we walk, we are busy. Also, we make it a point, we drink a lot, we buy bottled water, gano'n. Pero nga sa bahay, napansin ko, I was trying to count. Parang 5 glasses a day yung naiinom ko. So, when I became aware, sa umaga ulit, yun, 2 kagad. Parang, stock up na muna ako. Advance na.
Hindi, good for you, Raymond, di ba, Tita Betty? Sometimes people are drinking on bottled water or boiled water or distilled water. That is good for you. But most of the time, some of the patients, like I experienced some of my patients, I think Tita Betty will agree. They don't like water because what? It's tasteless. Walang lasa. They prefer carbonated drinks. Alam mo naman.
Soft drink.
Paano na? During lockdown, anong gagawin mo? Hindi ka na iinom. So that is the problem. Then you create more infection. Okay?
Kaya dumami nga yung mga problems.
So water talaga is life, no? It can really...
Water is life. Not only that, I'll insert Raymond, di ba?
Yes.
Okay. During that time, I think in yung quarantine natin, everybody starts to be plantito and plantita, di ba? People start to consider vegetable as one of the staple food, one of the good food, kasi yun ang mas maraming nabibili, di ba? Kasi during that time, I think we have problems with the pork, di ba? The pork, yung flu, di ba? Yung
swine fever.
Parang may sumasabay na ganyan eh, mga flu, parang gano'n. Pati yung pork, yung swine, di ba?
Yeah, swine fever.
Swine fever. Tapos, ano nangyari? We end up in our dinner table or lunch table is what? Di ba, Tita Betty, Raymond? Vegetables. So you have here what? You have to in itself either cook vegetables or take in vegetable. So, tama yung sinabi ninyo kaninang dalawa na you have something here that is being prepared and in a juice type and then you can just drink it, ang sarap. Tapos, sabihin nyo, walang tubig. Ayan, may lasa ng tubig. Ang sarap-sarap pa. Diba?
There was another problem din kasi with veggies eh. Kasi 'di ba, especially nung first part nung pandemic, the vegetables do not come from Baguio, 'di ba, from the provinces kasi na lockdown.
Transportation.
Sobrang mahal
So
ng time na yun.
tendency is actually I think what contributed more is because people depended on the processed food, mga delata,
Yeah, correct.
ba?
Yung ayuda, puro canned goods.
Puro canned goods. We have to depend on canned goods which are from a nutritionist point of view, di ba? That's very bad. Kasi nga, they have preservatives, they have kung ano-ano meron dyan.
Yeah.
It is not healthy. No, basically, it's not healthy. But yun na nga, what's good with the gusto, ako nga during that time, everyday we drink a lot of gusto kasi number one, yun yung parang water na, 'di ba? And may mga apo ko nga, they call it the magic juice eh. Sabi ko dun sa apo ko, hindi ka na lumaki ah. Sabi niya, kasi I don't have magic juice anymore. Okay. Ayun. So, pero yun yung diet plays an important part eh.
Yes.
In any, 'di ba? It actually can contribute to a lot of diseases and it can also prevent a lot of diseases, right? Ayun.
If
Kasi
I may
you're
add, yes, Polo. Yes, Polo.
Kasi Raymond, Betty, you're talking about prevention eh. No? We're not even talking about vegetables or whatever kind of form of water that you take in that will wash away and really clean or really treat your prostatitis in the whole sense of the word. No? What we're saying is that it can improve symptomatology, meaning you prevent more of the production, meaning increase in the number of bacteria that is invading your prostate gland, meaning because what? You urinate more, you hydrate more, you wash out all the bacteria more. So the lesser that your enemy or the lesser that you have bacteria invading your prostate, the better is the cure.
So bali Doc Joseph. So for example, if a person let's say feels or they have a suspicion that they have prostatitis, so what should they do? Get a urinalysis? Yung first step?
Urinalysis and urine culture. No, Raymond, I like urine
So, iba
culture.
po yung urine culture. Okay.
Urine culture is where you get the organism. So when you get the organism, you do not manage on antimicrobials that are not sensitive to your organism. Okay? The only fact that you will get from urinalysis is bacteria and the number of past cells. Okay? But what I want is what type of organism are we considering and what are we trying to treat later on. It is better that way rather than to give gunshot antimicrobial. That is the problem, Raymond. Tita
Diba
Betty,
broad
when you give-
spectrum? Broad
Yeah,
spectrum.
you give kasi for the sake na, ito, ibibigay ko to, mawawala na yan. Ang tawag dyan, natsambahan mo lang. Natsambahan mo lang, gumaling siya. Paano pag bumalik? Recurrent. And you know, prostatitis can recur and recur and recur once not treated properly.
Kaya nga dapat you go to experts nga kasi they will give you expert advice and they can even give you expert opinion on how to treat it, right? Kasi nga, 'di ba? Yung like for example, if madalas kang nagkaka-prostatitis and then you tend to self-medicate and every time you take a certain brand of let's say antibiotic, So what happens? Di ba your body develops a resistance? Kaya nga nagiging resistant, di ba? So, and then in the future, paano na yan? Kung mamaya wala nang gamot na pwedeng tumalab sa'yo, right? So, you're creating actually a problem.
Yes.
So, but if at the onset pa lang, you already treat it with the correct antibiotic. Also, I don't know if I'm correct, no, Doc Joseph, kasi if it is not the correct antibiotic, it might so happen na makikure siya pero at a slower pace. Mas mabagal din siya. So it will also contribute to your pain, 'di ba? Whereas if you have the correct antibiotic through a urine culture, immediate pinapatay na the bacteria get killed easily. Right? Tama po ba?
Yeah.
So isa lang po ba ang specimen yun? When you have if you need a sample for, urinalysis and urine culture.
Urine lang din.
Isa lang, one time lang din.
Pero mga 2 weeks ba, Doc? Or
1 week.
Parang you get the results. You get the results in around 1 week's time.
As far as I know po ngayon, pwede rin yung mga mobile, home service. Diba yung mga blood extraction, urinalysis. Diba may mga medical ngayon services, they go to your house, they pick up, diba?
Yeah.
Get your blood sample.
You can pick it up.
So if you're afraid to go out, pwede pa rin yan.
Pero kailangan fresh.
Oh, yes.
May time yun di ba? 1 hour or something.
Tapos wag lang matraffic yung nag-pull out ng specimen.
Then, ang alam ko, dinalagay sa sa ice.
Okay, dry ice or parang...
Yes, Doc, sorry. Yes, Doc, you were
Sabi
saying.
ko nga, Raymond, I just wanna add what Tita Betty was saying, no? Now, with regards to resistance to the antimicrobial, so the problem is kasi you will now feed the bacteria. So ngayon, pag hindi siya namamatay, it's just static. You call that static. Ibig sabihin, parang piniliti mo lang siya, pinastop mo lang siya. It should be cidal. Cidal meaning it kill the bacteria. So what will happen if you don't kill the bacteria? Yung binigyan mong antimicrobial, Raymond, Tita Betty, kakainin nila. Magiging vitamin sa kanila yun. So they will become strong.
So they will, parang they will return with the vengeance ngayon.
Exactly.
Kasi it became stronger. So that's how antibiotics work.
Avoid self-medication when it comes to mga bacterial infections. Mahirap talaga yun.
Kaya nga ako, I always say, you medicate and you supplement You medicate with the proper medicine. But at the same time, kasi nga, syempre, we're also afraid na dahil some people say, with the effect of the antibiotics, malakas yung tama sa katawan, baka humina ka because it kills all the bacteria, whether good or bad. And we know for a fact that our bodies, we have 80% good bacteria. And actually, our bodies have bad bacteria, 20% nga lang, mas konti siya. So, sometimes nga ngayon, may mga autoimmune disease wherein yung sarili mong bacteria are growing to be so many that they now are invading your body. So, anyway, ang dyan is, that's why we say we medicate. So, we medicate, we go to a doctor, we get an expert advice. And then, on the other hand, we also supplement kasi we like that one, the antibiotics, they kill the bacteria. So what we have to do is we have to bring in the good bacteria na pinatay ni antibiotic, di ba? So that is the logic behind probiotics. Ayun. That's why si Big merong 15 strains. But we have many strains of bacteria in our body.
Yes.
Ayun. Tama ba ako, Doc?
Correct. Now, like, you have strains that are homostatic or very eco-friendly to our body. When you say eco-friendly, they tend to help in eliminating some of the bacteria that we might unintentionally take in. When you say unintentionally, kasi sa kakakain natin, di ba, Tita Betty, Raymond, minsan kinakain tayong madumi or something or whatever. You need bacteria also to kill this bad bacteria. So you have your own set of microbes or microflora in the body that are useful. Okay. Why do they become hurtful or self-incriminating? Yan, self-incriminating, parang legal. Ibig sabihin, pag na-abuse sila, kagaya sabi Raymond ni Tita Beth, na-abuse sila, in-abuse mo sila, okay, then they tend to increase in number and start combating your body system. Like example, E. coli. E. coli is prevalent in our body. Sometimes you see them in some of the GI. Pero pag dumami siya, nakakapatay ang E. coli. Diba? So your probiotics now, when you get in, you have some bacteria there that are very nice. They can tell your microbes or microflora na kailangan bati-bati tayo, kaya nandito ako, tinake in ako ng human body para we will be commensurating and helping each other. That is the help of your probiotics, di ba? Minsan kasi iniisip natin in layman's term, Raymond, di ba, Tita Betty, hindi ako matunawan, parang mahirap ang GI ko. This is beyond prostatitis. Anong pinapainom sa'yo, di ba? Yung mga lactobacillus, mga lacto, di ba? Marami yan, ginagamit na probiotic. Why? Bakit ka maglalacto? Kasi this helps control, buffers, or eliminate what is not balanced in our system, no? So they tend to be microflorals that are agonistic. When you say agonistic, magkatulong sila, hindi sila antagonistic to each other. So they make your body more equal or balanced.
Yes. They complement each other.
They complement
So,
each other.
ganda ng learnings natin. Kaya lang, 1:60 na pala. Bilis na oras. Pero, let's take a break po muna. We'll play a video. Ito yung favorite ni Ma'am Betty. Then, when we come back, we'll have meron tayong take away from, of course, our very special guest, Dr. Joseph Lee. So, don't go away, guys. We got more coming up in a bit. And yes, we are back and yun po. So we'll be
I'd
having...
like to, Raymond, I'd like to thank my friend for sending me that video, si Baby Española. You know, she's 90 plus and she's still very active in online selling. Bilib ako sa kanya.
Yes, parang eternal yan. Parang siya yan. Nakilala kong
Pero it just shows that kasi nga people, if you are if you have something to do, you keep yourself busy.
That's
and
right.
then kaya kagaya ganyan, you're sharing whatever knowledge you have. Diba, very simple exercises, you can even do it sitting down on your chair. Kaya nga there's really not much need for going outdoors for exercise if you cannot, diba? Lockdown but still, kung if you want some exercise, walking is also good, di ba? Ganyan, stretching. O, parang si Doc Joseph, baka pagkakaupo mo dyan, nag-slouch na. I'm guilty of that.
No, Doc
So, a
Joseph is
little
very busy.
exercise.
He's all over town. Kita ko yung mga clinic hours tsaka hospitals or medical centers where
Nga
he is. Oo, affiliated.
Kasi Doc Joseph, very
all
helpful.
the time.
Oo. Very helpful. Paying it forward, di ba?
Right.
Kaya favorite siya ng
Yeah.
mami niya. Oo. So, thank you very much, Doc Joseph.
Doc
Yeah,
Joseph.
oo.
Okay, so
I
as
hope
we
that
wrap
you will
up, kaya
invite
po.
me again. Sabi
Yes, of
Sure.
course.
Sabi
Oo
ko
nga
nga,
kasi,
Raymond, before you talk, sabi ko
Yes,
nga,
coach.
Tita Betty kay Raymond kay Tita Betty, sabi ko, you can even invite me once a month.
oo nga. Kasi si Doc Joseph, he makes, he makes something complex become very simple.
Yun.
So, I hope yung mga listeners natin, they are happy with the very, di ba, yung with the explanation that Doc Joseph gave to us regarding
It's a gift po eh.
prostatitis.
It's a gift. It's how to
Oo.
explain it in plain language. And
Oo. Actually, it's more our honor, Doc Joseph, kasi you're
Yes.
very busy, I know. If you can join us, why not, di ba?
Oo naman,
That would be
hindi
more
ka
my
lang.
pleasure.
Why not?
Ayun.
Sige.
Sige po.
Okay, so
Yung takeaway for-
revolutionaryos, yes, so so today, yun na nga, the first thing that we should do is to have a urinalysis. Whenever we have a problem na medyo madalas siya, wag naman, don't wait until it hurts, before you do something about it. So you can go have your urinalysis to find out the bacteria count in your urine. And then you go to an expert. So you get an expert advice, and then you follow whatever the advice the doctor gives you. And then you medicate and you supplement. So that's how to have a healthy body and a holistic that's our holistic approach to health.
Yes.
Because we'd like everybody to be healthy and happy, diba? Ayan.
Okay,
So,
yes po. Sige po, si Doc Joseph, baka meron pong parting words for our episode today.
Alam mo,
DJ
sabi ko
Chris
nga,
po, okay pa rin sa'yo. Nandito
Sabi
pa rin
ko
sila
nga,
DJ Chris. Opo.
sabi ko nga,
Yes po,
Raymond,
Doc.
parang nasabi na ni Tita Betty, di ba? Na-outline niya na, Raymond, lahat, no? What is essential and what you need to do.
everything I learned, Doc Joseph, everything I learned from you today.
Yun.
We are good students.
Very attentive.
Wala anything else you'd like to add?
Hindi, me lang
Opo.
naman, it's always nice for our viewers to look into this kind of education and platform, online education, like Health Revolution. Why? Because then you tend to learn things from specialists or other invited resource person with regards to certain diseases. Okay, all right. We do know for the fact that we do learn things sometimes on your research on the internet, okay, because we have a lot of platform there. But it is nice that you listen to people who have experience. Then it's more clinically correlating. Yan. Sorry for that one. Nagko-correlate. Yan, sinasabi. So, mas nakaka-align ka sa your clinical concern, okay? Then, like what I've said, everything is basically basic, no? Try to live healthy, try to live happy, yeah? Not only physically, emotional, but spiritually, and eat nutritious food. Yun lang naman, and sleep well. Okay, be positive.
Yes. Thank you so much, Doc. Ang ganda ng mga paalala ni Doc. So, very basic, very simple, pero very important, no? Ayun. So, thank you so much, guys. So, for those who were not able to catch us from the start, you can always watch it sa ating mga Facebook pages at sa YouTube channel ng My Big Ink tsaka Edge TV Philippines. Yan. So thank you so much. And Ma'am Betty.
Yan. Okay, so see you all again next Wednesday. So,
Yeah.
ano na bang topic natin? Next Wednesday, we have digital eye strain.
Wow.
Yan. So,
Galing. We have another
so
expert.
another topic about, we have another expert, another doctor who's going to talk about digital eye strain. Yan. Okay, so see you all again next Wednesday. Yes,
Thank you.
12:15.
Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank
Once
you,
again.
Tita
Thank
Betty.
you.
Bye.
DJ Raymond.
Thank you, Doc.
See you again soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.